Not a lot because I want to just focus on kind of one thing. But first, I'd like to tell you yesterday I had the most amazing day. I had my 18-year-old son and his 18-year-old friend from high school, and now they're college buddies and they work out together. And they both are studying business and marketing. So now I'm teaching a class on entrepreneurship, on business and marketing, and that's exciting. I mean, really, and we're recording it so that I can share it with all the kids around. I'm telling you, as I came up, I always wanted to teach, but I know that teachers don't make a lot of money, and I wanted to make money. And I know just being in a classroom, I can only reach a certain number of people, but being online and I can record it and it can live on in infamy, and a lot of people can continue to watch it. So let's see if we can reach a lot of people. But today, I'm reaching out to dentists, and I want to share some of the things that I'm learning and some of the things, some of my experiences, because that's where you learn. I've had a lot of experience, a lot of years, and I actually sold a 14 a chain of 14 dental offices to a strategic partner in the dental space. And that's what I want to talk about, a liquidity event. We started talking about that last week as like a liquidity event, like having a financial orgasm. You reach that point that things actually happen, almost explosive, and that's when you really get paid. And rather than taking my word for it, I want you guys to do this. I want you to go to Chat GPT or Google Gemini and just prompt it on why is it important and why is it so eventful to build a platform to sell to a strategic partner or private equity firm? I like strategic partners more so than private equity because private equity only brings money to the table, and they take over and the accountants and so forth. However, if you're going to exit and they offer you enough money, be willing to accept it and move on because eventually you will exit. And if they're going to give you the most money, you're going to exit one day, whether you want to or not. And I always repeat that you have to have an exit strategy. And that's what I'm here for. And my book, the book, Entrepreneur Dentist, How to Exit Your Business Rich. And maybe I should have put wealthy, but I wanted rich because in an event, you take in a lot of cash, and it's not wealth, it's cash because now you're cash rich, but you're not wealthy per se because wealth requires that you have assets, and your assets make you wealthy, and and then you can build what is called generational wealth. But a lot of people are, and I think it's good to look at getting rich first. You want to make money by actually having one of these events. It's so eventful that you build a platform and strategically build a platform. You're building a product to sell in the market, and your product could be a chain of dental offices. And the way that you sell is by forming that collective. The bigger, and we talk about this a lot, economies of scale. Listen, this is America. We live in a capitalistic society. So you have to think of what is it that the market will pay more for? And what they're looking for is way you have to build your product because you want to take it to market. And I'm using what I started with was conversation that I had with a friend of mine, um, Dr. Malcolm, and it's during this month. So Black History Month. Every month is Black History Month, but we're going to go with this being Martin Luther King's. Uh, so we wanted to kind of build that whole thing. Now is Malcolm's dream, not just Martin's dream. We're talking Malcolm's dream. So Malcolm now he has a dream of exiting in 5 years with $10 million, and he called me and asked me, is it feasible? And I also talk a lot about a feasibility study and having your vision vetted, but I've already vetted this. I've already accomplished it. So when he said Could he do it in 5 years, exit $10 million? Excellent. That's an excellent question. And sure, you can do that. This is only thing it has to do is to build a plan and then execute it. And you really the plan is already it's been done, so you actually could copy someone else's plan and just execute that. So basically, what you're doing, you're creating a platform that someone else is already sitting there waiting for. Think about this. There's people who are they're just salivating to get a product because they need product. These guys, the bigger guys who are trying to do these big roll-ups, they need chains of dental offices, whether you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. They'll buy all of those to put into this giant package to take to private equity. So regardless of who you sell to, strategic partner or to the private equity firm, eventually money gets in the game. So and I know a lot of people will say, "Well, I'm so in love with my office and my people that love me." Don't fall in love like that. You know, if you're gonna fall in love, find somebody or whatever. But don't fall in love with your business. Your business is there to support you, and you can replace it, move to the next one. Do not fall in love with your business. You love what it does, but you're building it in to take it to the market. You have some little piggies you're fattening up for the market. Don't fall in love with the pig because you have to get slaughtered someday. So somehow with your business, you know that one day you have to pass it on to somebody. So that's what we're talking about is building something that you can do that with. So here's what I'm planning at this point. But before I go there, I want to tell you guys um, I'm a seed provider, so we're doing a seed course on March 15th. Gosh, my mind got slipped there. So March 15th in Fresno, we're doing a full day, pedo for GP, ortho for GP, uh, so forth. So you can just go to the entrepreneurdentist.com. You can find out more about the PE course. I mean the CE course. What is the PE course? The CE course. And you're gonna I think you'll find something there that can benefit you just in whether you attend or not. Just visit and share it with someone else that's in California, especially Central California, Northern California, might want to show up. But the other thing I wanted to share with you guys is that I'm going to be doing some training on building this prototype platform. And I think I mentioned before on May 1, I'm turning over the CEO position of the Kids to Dentist and my other brand, the StarTech Dentist, over to my niece who's MBA and been working with me, been training for a long time. And it's going to give me time to work on helping others. And that's part of what I want to do is um, if you go to entrepreneurdentist.com and just we're going to post something, give it a day or so, but it'll be the free blueprint for the DPO prototype. Secondly, secondly, it'll be a free plan feasibility study. I want to have those two things. Now, after May 1, I'm charging. The membership will not be free at that point. We may have a free membership, but there will be a plan that is a paid benefit. And that's because I can't provide all the things that I want to provide free. I have to bring in my team, my mastermind team, because if I'm going to do something, and I promise you something, I want the whole team to work on it. I want to make sure it's right so that you're winning, I'm winning. And when you talk about us to others, you talk about the winning. So if it's worth you winning, then we want to help you get there, but we have to charge something for it. So but right now, the planned feasibility study, I'm going to use my mastermind group and myself. If you want to get a free planned feasibility study, you're going to just but give us until Monday to get it all set up because it was actually something I decided this morning. So I will do that planned feasibility study. Now, the reason it's important, and I spoke to that yesterday with my young adults that I'm training, is that a lot of times we think that something is right in our own mind, and we start down that path, and we could lose a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort. and you get really dejected when you get down there. You find you went down the wrong path. Now you have to turn around and go back. So it's better to put in the time up front and ask the people that know and really do a planned feasibility study. Is it viable? And that way your plan is vetted. And then when you start, you're going down the right path and you can commit and just keep moving. So that's why I say don't go down the path until you get it vetted. Now, we're going to do it free until May 1st. I'm doing some free. But after May 1st, it is charged because you'll see the benefit. I want to show people, and the ones that do get it now can show others the benefit that they get from this. Because if you have a great plan, and the plan has been vetted and you know what to expect, then you feel more confident going down that road. You'll feel more confident getting a loan because now you're committed to something that you have to pay back. So you have this. But once you get started, you know it's going to work, and your confidence in what you're doing because now the feasibility plan has already been the study has already been done, and now you're just executing the plan from there. So that's the two things I wanted to make sure that you um, are informed about. But the third one is I need for you to really, because most of your winning comes from your mindset. If your mind is right and you have gone through the mindset training and understand where you're going, then the fears is lessened and you'll go ahead and commit and you can make it happen. So because you have to have a growth plan and it has to go fast. Going fast requires that you put enough into marketing. You have to do a lot of marketing because it takes a lot of rocket fuel to get something off the ground. And most people are afraid, well, I'm already borrowed money and I'm in debt. Now I have this stuff. And you're saying put money in all of this money into marketing. I don't want to get more into debt. But unless you spend the money to make money, you're sitting there accumulating more debts. And you can't save your way into wealth. You have to accumulate riches to become wealthy, and then you'll save on taxes and things like that. But you have to expend some kind of energy. Very few people get rich on just spending nothing. Now, occasionally, especially like in the digital world, maybe. But we're talking about B2B kind of thing or B2C. B2C business, you have to expend something, one, and especially marketing. If there was I think the company still exists, Practice Builders. But I remember in '94 when I started Kids Dental Care, I read an article that they had, and it was to the point that if you have a constant flow of new patients, it's almost impossible for you to lose. You can even have someone embezzling from you. You don't even notice it because you're making so much money because you have a constant flow of new patients. So that's why my kid and his friend, I encourage them study marketing because if you know marketing, most businesses, almost any business, if you're good at marketing and business, you're going to survive and do well regardless. Any business, any country you could go in, if you're good at marketing and you understand business, you can survive anywhere. You can lose everything, move to another country. Anything can happen. Like I said, somebody could be embezzling, but you have that constant flow of new patients and you know how to create this marketing thing. That's why people like Yeezy, he's a marketing phenom, crazy as hell, but he could do all kind of things. And you could say, well, he's doing all of these crazy things, but he's still making money because he's a marketing genius. You have to spend the money, and therefore you burn a lot of rocket fuel to break free of gravity. After you get to a certain point, you start to peel it back. And that's why on a 5-year plan, think of this, and we'll call it Malcolm's dream. So Malcolm wants to get there in 5 years, and he'd like to walk away with $10 million. It's gonna that first 2 years, you got to get out the starting block because this is not 5 years, even though it may seem like a long time. No, that's a sprint. That's a sprint. That's not a marathon. It's not one of those middle distant races. If you're talking 5 years from zero to hero, from in 5 years, $10 million. You're starting pretty much at zero, I would imagine, and you're going to $10 million. That's coming out of those blocks like like world class sprinters. You got to get up and you got to get pumping real quick to get a lot of energy, and that's why those sprinters have those thick thighs. Because they got to get out the starting blocks. You got to get started, and that's where you got to spend a lot of energy, and it has to be correctly spent on marketing and so that you can get traction really quick. And then you have to be organized once the business starts coming in. And that's why I said, let me help you build a 5 year platform in 5 years. And what you do after that, but I'll tell you, once you exit and you have this liquidity event, take a little break, and then do it again if you want to, but you probably won't. Maybe you'll do something else. Maybe you do it again. I'm doing it again. I built another prototype platform. The reason I do it, well, actually, because I purchased the real estate, and that's a great thing, and I can leverage it. But the reason I purchased the real estate is because I had already had a liquidity event, and I had cash that I wanted to invest. But if you're trying to get there in a short period of time, maybe you don't want to purchase the real estate. Maybe you want to go fast. Maybe you want to do office two, three, four, five, and six, and then you're preparing to exit. So now you have, because what you really are doing, you're building the product for these people, and what they're looking at is something that has great management, is a lot of revenue, and EBITDA is or your profit is high. Now, let me tell you how you strategize on the marketing. So, like I said, it's 5 years. In year one, you're spending the most amount of money to get out the starting gates because now you're launching. And if you're going to get started and you're making money quickly, you got to spend some money to launch well and get people coming in. So you want to generate a lot of money. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's ortho, pedo, prosto, implants, whatever. You still have to generate patient flow. So the first thing is spend some money. No, but there's a lot of things that go into prior to that. Picking the right location, the right niche, the right look, the right feel, the logo, everything. But once you get that, now you have to spend some money because you can't just be hidden and waiting for years. You only got 5 years to get there, so you got to start out quick. So you spend the most in the first year because in year five you want to be cutting down a lot of your expenses because now your EBITDA in year three, because what they're looking for your last 3 years of P&Ls or your profit and loss statements or income statements for the last 3 years. They'll look at the whole five, but if they're looking at where you started, it's almost like someone looking at your resume. They want to look at where you started and where you ended up. And then when you end up, is the thing is your expenses are down. Now your profits are, because revenues are high, expenses are taken down. Now, you were spending a lot on marketing. Now it's gone down, down, down. And when you hit year five, when you go into the market, I'm telling you, this is beautiful. This, I'm telling you, this is really, and it comes from just seeing it. If you haven't been there, you don't know. But once you go there, now you understand. Like, damn, that was, and I got it partially right the first time. Did pretty good, really pretty good. But now that I know, I can share with you, and trust me, I wouldn't be here telling you this unless I've been there. You can check me out, Google me, and find out who I am, what I've done, and so forth. But I'm telling you, and I'm not bragging on me, I'm just saying I know this stuff because I've been there. So I'm telling you, you're building a product. I've been down this road a long time. So I build a product. And now when I take it to the market, I tell you what they're looking for. You have to know, and the more you know in advance, you can kind of prep your product. One, they're looking for a good management group. We're fortunate. And at this time, I have the same group that I had years ago, and that's what they like. They want to see that somebody knows what they're doing because when they're coming in with money, they want to see, is it managed well? What kind of compliance structure have they had? Because they don't want to buy something that could bite them in the ass. They want something that, compliance, you had a compliance officer along the way. What about your books? How well did they do the books? Their whole IT structure and standardization and so forth that is working well, economies of scale, so that it could grow like that. So you have to build this platform, the product, the prototype that they like to see. And then once they're looking at it, they're thinking, wow, this thing, and keep this one word here, this thing can scale. If it can scale and grow rather than what a lot of people trying to do now, no, a lot, I'm not a believer in this. There's a thing they call duct taping, when you grow duct taping acquisitions, just grabbing something and like I do pedo, and I have also now we started an implant center. So we have the pedo, but a separate kind of group of practices that are doing the implants and adult dentistry, but we limit that. So, but we for pedo we do a lot of things, whereas we do GA, we do oral surgery for the kids and we have ortho, and those are kind of grouped together. The adult is a different practice altogether, and it's limited more so to just cosmetics and implant. They want to see that it's some structure here, that is some synergies of what you're working together. Like I said, those over there with the adult is different thing than the synergies here, but both of them are dental, and both of them are going in that same direction. And we can manage it, and people that know how to manage it. Well, if I were to just start buying any kind of practice, doing all kind of different things, and none, we can't. My management team may not be able to get their head around that and kind of assimilate that like into our thing. So I'm just duct taping if I'm just buying and not really strategic buying. So you have to put together something that is strategic. You build a model that can scale, and you want it to not be just built around you and what you can do and running do. You want to build a prototype, a platform that works without you. Even if you're not there, it works. Like I say, in May 1st, I'll give up the CEO position, but I don't expect it to slow down. I want it to grow and just keep moving. I don't have to be there. So whenever a buyer comes along, of course, they're looking to buy my system. They're not looking for Dr. Lanier. I'm worthless. I'm worthless. It's what the assets that I built that are valuable, and the assets and the vehicle and so forth. That's what they want to acquire. And that's when I can have a liquidity event. I can sell that asset for multiples of EBITDA or multiples of profit. And that allows a lot of people around the table to eat, whether it's the investment bankers, the attorneys, my management group, myself, everybody get a chance to eat. And you get to write off a lot of things as you go through this process, because you have accountants and everybody sitting around there, and you structure your whole thing, with your trust, and then you set up your foundation and all of this kind of thing, because now you accumulated a lot of money, you're moving into a different kind of different group. So I think that's where we really want to start, but you have to start with a feasibility study on your plan, because you can't execute a plan if you don't have a plan. And if you have a plan and it's the wrong plan and you never had it vetted, there's not a lot that you're going to be able to do. And the thing of the blueprint, I want you to kind of see what a blueprint for a DPO would look like. So that's something that I really think you guys will benefit from. I will place that on the website. I'm kind of going fast this morning because I don't think I have that much to say. I'm going to see I have a few comments here. Okay, good, good, good. Excellent marketing. Okay, good. And people from different parts of the world. I love it. I love it. So here we go, guys. This is just it's nice to be able to share with you guys. I want you, the ones that are really ready to make those steps, sign up at the entrepreneurdentist.com. It's free right now, starting May 1. Well, we'll have we'll still have certain things as far as the freebies, but we're going to start paying because we're going to deliver better, more product to you to help you get to where you want to go. And whether you're starting with nothing, zero, we want to go from zero to hero in 5 years. And that's based on Malcolm's dream of $10 million. So that's the only thing I'm working on is that's the model, whether Malcolm goes or not. That's what he was telling me, and I was like, wow, that's a great thing for someone who's really at the beginning. You think about that. He's not at the beginning; he's practiced already for some years, so he has some experience. Now, I said pretty much we're worthless except for your assets, experience, and your skill set are assets as long as you use them. But do know this: if anything happens to you, get hurt, and can't work, the only thing you really have then is just your disability income, disability insurance income. And I think but that's only about 65% of what, I don't know, I don't have disability insurance, but of whatever you're generating. I just think you want to get to a point where you have a major liquidity event, and then you invest that into assets. And I'll talk more about investing into dental properties. I think that's good, especially if you only want to have one office and not go to the next. But the thing is, if you're going to sell, you still have to think of the exit is you have to be a part of the collective, because that's when your multiples go up. If your EBITDA is, let's say, $1 million. Now, if you could get three multiples of three on EBITDA, and you walk away, which would be EBITDA as a profit. But if you walk on, a multiple of three, yeah, that's $3 million. When you sell your practice. But what if you could get a multiple of 10? You went from your $1 million EBITDA or $1 million profit goes from uh, 3 million to 10 million. Why? Because now you're a part of a collective, and they pay a lot more. And like I said, don't believe me. I'm Dr. Lanier, and I would be skeptical of somebody like me. So go to ChatGPT, go to Gemini, and look it up that, because of scale, your multiples as part of a collective will be so much larger if you the economies of scale. If it's a large group that's taking you, and that's why we grow. And I know a lot of groups out there buying them up, but a lot of them are just duct taping something together and running to the market to try to get something, and then to wind up you are still there working for a few years, and now they're shutting it down because they already got paid, but this isn't working out the way that they thought it would with something else and so forth. So our growth with TKO partners is only when we find that it's synergies, and mostly working with one brand. Working with a brand, you have synergies, not just synergies, you have the specifications across the board that is standardized on this or that. And before, I did talk about how a lot of times dentists will come in and they want to know if I have autonomy. You don't really want autonomy if you're trying to get to that exit of $10 million, because that tells people that are looking, investors, they have no system. Everybody is just on their own, freelancing and just improvising as they go. That's autonomy. If everybody can make decisions like that, then they have free autonomy to do whatever they want, and that's chaos. And the thing you don't want is chaos and confusion. And that's what the buyers, people with the money, they're looking at these things. They're looking at what kind of operations do you have? What kind of management is in place? How is it run? Like I said, the thing about their liabilities and so forth. So they want to see structure in place. That's why I say build a prototype, a platform. that they can look at. And then when we go to market, you already build together as a collective. Now the collective, you go from the three times EBITDA to 10 times EBITDA. And that's where you exit really, really wealthy or rich. And it's a financial orgasm. Financial orgasm is called a liquidity event. That's what we're calling it. So let's make sure that we have that. I'm at 9:30 right now. That means I've done a half hour, and that was my intent today. I don't want to go an hour. I just want to get those things out there, and I want you guys to go to the entrepreneurdentist.com. Just sign up. I think there's a link there for a newsletter or whatever, but I'm going to send you something about the blueprint and the feasibility study. So you can let me know what you're trying to achieve. I can put my mastermind group on it, and we're going to give you, we'll ask some questions and probably a survey so that we could tell where you are right now, where you want to go, and a blueprint on how to get there. This is where I'm going to start, and we'll send you a link. Like I said, anything that I do from now until May 1st is going to be free. After I step down as CEO, I'm actually going to be working on just helping other people, but you wouldn't appreciate it unless I charge you for it. If you want to get there, you're willing to commit, you're willing to pay for it, and you're willing to help yourself, not me. I'm helping, I'm going to help you. Believe me, I really need your help, but we're going to actually provide it free until May 1st. And then we're going to show you how we're going to get really involved and take you from zero to hero in 5 years and how to do it as a part of a collective. You're not moving by yourself. Be in business for yourself, but definitely not by yourself. And even the bigger guys who are looking to buy you at the end, they don't want to see that you're out there by yourself, just doing this thing. So, yeah, someone's asking, is this the green screen? What prison are you in? Actually, no. This is home. This is home. I've been fortunate. The thing of having a liquidity event is that one, you do walk away fairly wealthy. However, you don't get a ticker tape parade, so you have to do things. Buy a nice house, buy yourself a Rolls Royce and all of those things, and then you find out that that really didn't get what you thought it would, and really the money and all of those things didn't really mean that much, but the experience that you get along the way and who you become. You become a different person as far as now you've been there, you know a lot of things that you learned along the way. So by doing that, you you change. And that's why it's called a transformation. You transform from who you are into that person that at that point you have a lot of assets, your wealth, you become wealthier because now you can, because like I said, you yourself, if you just get money, that's just rich and it could pass away like that. Wealth is something you accumulate. They don't say get wealthy like overnight. A lot of people come to me and they ask me and they want to be rich overnight or wealthy overnight. It just doesn't happen, because if you did, you probably wouldn't know how to handle it. But by it taking 5 years and you're actively involved for 5 years, when you finally get there, you'll appreciate it more. I still encourage you to have some things that to kind of celebrate. Buy yourself a few trophies, and put those on the side. But then you're at a different level, and now you can play. And I was telling my son and his friend yesterday, because they love these video games, and they're up late night playing video games. They're 18 years old. So I was telling them, my son always wanted to play video games with him. So I never really liked video games, but I did catch this. The games that I did play with him, you have a level. And once you get to in level one, you kind of you get it going, and then you go to level two, and maybe you get kicked back. Now You got to go back through level one, but you've already learned that. And you go to level two, and now you learn level two, and you get kicked back again, start over, and you go right back up to the top, and then you go. But each time you climb into another level. And so it's like that. Like it with anything, you got to have a great base. And that's why when you start out, you can expect some turbulence and so forth while you're building that first, the base, and then the second. Well, 5 years is 5 years, you're going to be involved. If you're going to get from zero to $10 million exit in 5 years, don't think you're going to be just sitting around, and hanging out, taking long, long vacations and having those things where uh, out I've never had that when the email you email someone and they said out of town, out of something. I don't even remember the response, but they are not responding to emails for the next week or so. If you have any questions, when you in those 5 years, you won't be doing that. You will respond because you're trying to get to $10 million in 5 years. You're serious about what you're doing. You can go on vacations, but you still want to check. You don't want the whole farm burning down while you're out, hanging out in Hawaii and so forth. Check your phone, do those kinds of things. You have a team, you build a team, you work with teams, and they help you get there. But you're engaged, and you think about things. And even when people think you're not working, you take a day off, it's on your mind. I'm trying to discourage still also because it's not for everybody. If you don't want to get into it and be engaged, but it's almost like when I was a kid and we were playing, a teenager, and we were playing basketball, and one of my friends, because you go down to the courts and they play, the ones that win are the teams, the next team up. You make it, you win, you get to run the next game, and then I was playing, and I guess I wasn't doing what my friend on his team what he thought it was, and he just stopped. He was like, "Listen, you play, or you can just go and sit your ass down." And I was like, "Man, it's not that serious." He said, "Well, you need to stop." And I'm thinking, "Damn, it's just a little basketball game," but to him, it was very serious. That's how I am about this. Unless you want to be in the game and play at that level, you might as well quit, go sit down. If you want to get in the game, you want to play it, you got to get serious. It's only for a few people. But if you want to have what people have that are at this level, that's who you have to transform into being. That kind of person is a person that's on point. Most of that 5 years you're on point. You're learning, and you're spending your time developing your money, developing the systems, and and you're staying focused. Because it's not like a lot of people do believe that you either get lucky or you just run up and steal these things from people. No, it's a part of work. You develop something, you develop a product, and the product is something that the market already is in demand for. And there's a big demand for this. And like I say, don't trust me. Look it up and do all of your searches yourself. Find out what's the market capitalization for dentistry in the United States? How much is going to the DSOs? Uh, what the DSOs are looking for when they're the big guys when they're buying, and what kind of structure? What do you need? So I think that together we could do it. But I'll be building a team, and when we do, when we're looking for these partners, you have to be serious because if I'm going to invest my time to help you get to that point, I don't want somebody who's half-assed in the game and not, like my friend said, go sit on the side, sit on the bench and let somebody else get in the game. But if we're going to commit, you want to know up front and then be ready for it. So that's why I say even the thing like the membership, I want a paid membership that kind of gets rid of the people who are just sitting there listening and wasting time because most of the people are going to be like most people and they're going to do what the crowd does. And if the crowd says, no, I'll wait and next year, but I'll listen, but I'm never going to do anything, then you're going to be like the rest of the people. You do what everyone else does, you're going to get the same result. Don't expect to wind up at some different place unless you're doing what needs to be done. So, with that said, thank you guys for listening. I've talked too much and, just Be ready. We're going to go. I'm telling you, May 1. I'm going to keep talking, but May 1st, I'm going to take some people on a journey and we're going to get there. I'm going to form this group and we're going to be like a pack of wolves, you know, and when we hunt in a group, the wolves, they like take down, you ever see them take down bison out there, those big buffalo? And the wolves, you know, they're 10 times the size of a wolf, but in a pack, they take them apart. And that's how you have to do. If you're going to run something down, everyone is going to eat at the same time, but you got to be part of that wolf pack that is going to take it down. And all everybody has to hunt if you're going to be at the table when it's time to eat. Everyone's hunting, you know, unless something is wrong and they bring something back to the ones that's sick or broken, you know. We don't have that in here. It's just a pack of ones that are ready to run and make it happen. So I'm happy to see you. I'll see you guys next Saturday morning, and hopefully I have something even better. But thank you for joining. Dr. Lanier, until next week, you know, but do sign up for the free membership and tell your friends about it. All right. Thank you. Bye.